Are you experiencing rebooting issues on your BlackVue dashcam? Or is it not recording properly all the time? Well, today we're gonna address these issues. I'm Jeremy from BlackVue, and today I'm with Chris from customer support who will help us go over all these issues, diagnose the problem, and give you a few ideas on how to fix them.
Hi Jeremy. Hi everyone. Chris here from customer support.
All right.
Yes, we're talking about booting issue, right?
Yeah, so booting issue. So we're not talking about the dashcam being totally dead, but it's just, for some reason, it just restarts randomly sometimes, right? Yeah. So what are the main reasons why a camera might reboot?
There are two main reasons why the camera is booting abnormal. First is rebooting. It might be booting well, but restarting.
Restarting,
so it's like rebooting.
And so then restarting issue,
right? And then the second one is like it's totally not booting at all, but it has power, which might be related to NAND or software issues.
Okay, so it still has power. It still looks like it's on because the LED is turned on, but it's not actually recording or doing anything. Okay. Yes. Starting with when the camera keeps restarting.
Yeah, the camera restarts because probably for few reasons. Number one is overheating. When the camera reaches the certain temperature limit, then it will definitely shut down and
because the dashcam will always protect itself if it's too hot, and that could be one of the reasons it restarts.
And keep on that temperature will means like restarting for the camera.
Right, because when it drops back to a temperature where it can operate, then it is gonna restart, right?
Right. So that will be one reason, and then the other one could be the SD card.
SD card.
So the SD card, probably if you use the SD card for a long time, or you've been use it like for 24/7 continuously recording.
Okay.
So it might cause the issue. So probably that's a wear and tear.
So maybe the first thing to do in that case would be try reformatting, right?
Yes. First, to format the SD card.
Format the SD card.
Or reload the firmware. And if it's still not working, probably you need to change it.
Yeah, if it happens again, you might want to then, replace the micro SD card.
Right. Though we recommend always to use the BlackVue SD card, but for some reason, maybe for other customer might using the third-party SD card, it may also be the reason.
Okay.
So it's proper to use the BlackVue SD card.
Okay. Use the BlackVue SD card if you can. And if you don't, at least try to follow the certain, standard of speed, right?
Right.
The problem with micro SD cards is we are able to test all the BlackVue micro SD cards, but if it's not a BlackVue micro SD card, we might not guarantee exactly, the good, functioning of the dashcam.
Right.
So at least try to look for something like high endurance.
Right.
Or something ready to
comparable to our SD card. But of course, we always recommend the BlackVue SD card.
Yeah, of course.
And another thing could be the hardware issue. It could be the rear camera or any our hardware in the camera causing the restarting issue. So of course, it's difficult to check if it's hardware issue. But one example is the rear camera. Okay. If the rear camera connection is not really good, then it may cause the restarting.
So if the connection between the front and the rear camera has some issue, it could in the long run cause some rebooting. Okay.
So most likely those issues can be found on the front camera pin connection. So if the pin connection is really not good or damaged,
or like worn out, damaged,
then it may cause the rebooting issues. Another thing is that I just remember about the Elite series. So we have the new cable for the Elite series.
That's right.
Coaxial cable.
New coaxial cable.
So for customers who are upgrading their cameras from previous model to our current one, if they use the certain old accessories, it may cause also.
It might cause some issues. So if you can, I know it can be tricky to reroute all the cables again, but yeah, it might be a good idea to use the new 6 gigabit cable that comes with the Elite model.
So always to use the the exact cable for the said model. And then the other one is like probably the resolutions or the specs difference, because as I mentioned, like some customer upgrade their cameras and then they think, oh, it's the same full HD rear camera, so I can use the same full HD rear camera,
right?
And without thinking that it's not compatible with the front.
Right. Sometimes even if the resolution might match your old and new dash cam, it's always good to replace the rear cam as well, because it might not be compatible.
Right. So yeah, that will be for the camera keeps on restarting.
All right. So you mentioned the other reason why you might have booting issues is the NAND.
NAND is called the flash memory of the camera.
The flash memory.
Yeah, which is the software of the camera. So it's very
that's where the firmware is actually installed in the dash.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So if this is NAND software issues related, of course, customer might need to process RMA. To request for RMA for their camera. So
but what are the symptoms in that case?
For that one, you usually see all the LED lights.
So it all lights up?
The lights are all on. So people think, oh, the camera is working because it's on, but actually it's all blinking, like continuously blinking.
Okay. So if it keeps blinking, then in that case, is it like the only scenario, or it could be something else?
Right. Most likely that's the blinking one. And then one of the probably cue, you cannot hear, of course, unless you turn off the voice recording or the voice notification. You cannot hear the word BlackVue for safe driving.
Oh, the dash cam will remain silent.
Right.
Okay.
So most likely
that's a clear sign that there's a NAND issue, so like internal memory, which you will need to RMA. Right?
And definitely you cannot see any recording.
Okay, in that case, nothing is recorded at all.
Right.
Okay.
So it's not really rebooting, but it's not booting very well. So it means probably the camera cannot read the software and then just...
Okay, you just stop there. Okay. All right, so to summarize, when you have a booting issue, in general, it's going to be some restarting issue.
Yes.
But in some rare case, it could be the NAND, which really requires some RMA.
Yes.
Okay. All right, everyone. If you have any question, make sure to post in the comments. And until then, we will see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.